So I started climbing, thought, hey, I could give up drugs. This is more fun than getting high. And then over the next 2 years, I did drugs and went climbing, not at the same time, but slowly climbing became a bigger part of my life. I met other climbers, because I moved to Canmore, remember, etc. And before I knew it, the balance just tipped. So it was making those choices on a daily basis over and over again and going, I'm not gonna get stoned today because I'm going climbing tomorrow and I wanna be clear. Because ice climbing is dangerous. I hate to admit that, but it is. It's also very fun. And then it just tipped over. So one of the things, back to that void, when someone quits drugs, you are in a void. It's like a black hole in outer space. And so that black hole needs to get filled with something or you'll go back out in the streets and do drugs. For me, it was climbing, and it wasn't just climbing, it was like, I'm gonna lift weights to get stronger, to climb harder, so I started filling it with all sorts of things. But if you tell someone to get off drugs, and that's just it, which was the recovery model for a long time, just get rid of the substance. The reason there's so much relapsing is because the person goes back out and they still have that emotional pain, they still have that trauma, they still have a void. So sure, in the beginning I was filling that void with ice climbing, and you could say that was my new addiction, but at least it was a healthy addiction. I felt more alive every time I went out ice climbing, and every time I did drugs I felt less alive. And so that would be it. That's why and it takes different people different amounts of time. For me it was 2 years, someone else could be 2 months, I envy them, and someone else could be 20 years.